This man, Michael Oher, is in the news. He's come out, and everyone knows him from the movie Blindside. I got to meet Michael a few times. My good friend Ed Ogeron at the time was his head coach, recruited him to Ole Miss. Ed just left SC, and he just took two of my kids, Ashley Palmer, one of the SEC's leading tackler at the time at safety, played quarterback for me in Compton Junior College, left, went, played safety linebacker for Ed at Ole Miss. And I believe he led the SEC in tackles, and then he went and played for the Lions and the Bills. Ashley did. I talked to Ashley not too long ago. He's coaching high school ball out here in LA. He played with Mike. And so I know from Ed Ogeron, I know from my boy Ashley that the show was total BS because Mike was more of a, like assertive. Nah, homie, like he'll holler at you. Like he wasn't sitting back taking it. Like they showed like, oh, he's from the hood, but then he's kind of slow. I think they portrayed him as kind of like slow in the movie.
Yeah.
That's not him at all. That motherfucker's smart as hell. So he's kind of pissed, but apparently he's come out. By the way, he's got a new family, just so we're clear. That's his family. But he's come out basically and saying, nah, man, these cats made $300 million off my name. And I'm kind of pissed about it. And I got a little clip for you, Smitty, that I found for the people that might take interest to it.
From what I've read in the book, a lot of that stems from how you were portrayed in the movie The Blind Side, and that people might have the wrong idea of your personality, number one, that you were this kind of shy wallflower, that you were timid and you had to be kind of like drawn out of your shell, when in reality, you were a workaholic, you were hyper organized, and you were like, damn it, I'm making something of myself no matter what it takes after a rough background. Is that the big one that you feel you were mislabeled as?
I think it took away the hard work and the dedication that I created from a child, and going to school in the third grade, getting myself up, first one in the locker room, last one out. And I think the biggest for me is, being portrayed, not being able to read or write. Second grade, I was doing plays in front of the school. And I think that's one of the, when you go into a locker room and your teammates don't think you can learn a playbook, that weighs heavy on someone.
By the way, Smitty, I see comments, he must be broke now. That's why he's coming out. Listen, I've known Michael Oher to come out about this since the movie dropped. He's been talking about this since the movie came out. He's been talking about, there's several videos out there and clippings of him talking about, this is not me. They misportrayed me. This is depicted in a different manner. He's been saying it's while he was starting tackle for the Ravens, dog. So this is not new. This didn't come out of nowhere. This shit's been happening for years. He's been talking about it. And I believe now he found out, just like I found out how much money Netflix made off my name. I think he found out how much money these two guys, woman and man, made off his name. So are you owed that?
How did he find out so late, though? That was my thing. This movie came out in 2009. I remember watching this movie because 2009 is a year my high school won the state championship. I was a sophomore at the time. I was dressing with varsity, but I didn't play unless it was like end of the game, blowout, or emergency situation. But I was, dressing with the team. And that whole week leading up to the state championship, our head coach took, we're doing all these team activities. And our coach took us to the movies to watch Blindside. I remember it was one of my favorite movies that came out. And it literally happened in like sophomore year in high school. I'm about to be 30 years old. Why is this like he just found this out? Like,
let me give you a little perspective. Let me just give you some little bit of insight that I'm dealing with right now, currently in my deal. So the reason is, one of the main reasons this could be, and this is crazy that I have this insight because it's shit's just now. I got something in the fire right now working.
Yeah.
Similar to what he's got going. I can't talk about, but look. The SAG is going on right now. There's a writer's strike, a production strike, and an actor's strike. So You guys are aware of all this, right? You see it every day going to work.
Yep, every day.
Well, since this has occurred, now all the financials, all the everything is coming out, because now we're starting this litigation process to say, okay, how far are we going back with royalties? How far are we going back with this, with that? Who's an executive producer on this show? Who's going to be producer on that show? Like, you should have made me an executive producer, dog, on Last Chance U. I wouldn't have no problem. I'd be getting paid for life. But you couldn't even put my name on there. But you put people on there that weren't even there, like your boys or your homie. I think this is what happens a lot of times. That's why we're going to have maybe a 2-year strike right now with actors and so forth. There's just not going to be anything going. They want to know how far we're going back. And now that financials are starting to come out, there's going to be people out the woodwork. Smitty, I don't think this is even the beginning. You're going to see so much stuff coming out because of this strike and these things that these people are demanding. Nah, I want my royalties from, whatever. Adam Sandler wants royalties, I'm sure, on his 57 Netflix movies he has that he's not getting anything on. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So now all this is coming out. And I think we're going to see something. And that's just a different perspective that a lot of people haven't talked about, but that is true. That's what's happening right now. That's why so many people have contacted me about possibly, hey, you want to do a show here? You want to do a show there? We need content. Everything's on streaming now. We got Samsung, Vizio, Hulu, Netflix, Amazon. Everything's going streaming, and less are in the movie theater. And that is why these actors are like, well, screw it. We're not in the movies no more. You don't see our credits no more like you once did. And the streaming apps are keeping our royalties. So screw it. We won't make a new movie. And then there's been people that have actually been held out. Like, when's the last time you've seen a Vince Vaughn in a movie? When's the last time you've seen – there's a few names I could bring up because they've kind of been like people think that they came forward about certain things and now they're being blackballed. So it's crazy. I haven't seen a certain actor I haven't seen in a while. Jim Carrey, Vince Vaughn. There's like some actors I'm like, damn, where these cats been at?
Right. That's a good point. And that is a good take that I didn't hear. So that could be true. I mean, for me, I kind of got two perspectives on this whole thing. So on one side, it's like, okay, again, I already mentioned it, and what you're saying now could be true, but still, the movie dropped in 2009. I hear that you say he's been making complaints about how he was portrayed, but regardless of what, even if he's just not figuring out what the exact amount is, that movie was uber successful. Like we know how big of a movie that was. So common sense would just say that movie made millions and millions of dollars. He's known for the last almost 15 years that he didn't make a penny off that. So like, regardless of what the amount was, why I just feel like why is he going so hard now? So that's my number one just thought. Again, what you just said could be true. I don't know, but if I'm in a situation and somebody just used my name, image, and likeness to make a movie that was this successful, regardless if I know the exact numbers, I want something of it. I won't, and I'm not getting anything. So that's number one.
But let me ask you this though. Did this rich family not adopt him though? He's saying now they didn't adopt him, but
and that's going to my second point. So I'm actually about to defend him. So because I was reading up on this all night, JB. So basically, when he was 18 years old, they made him sign something called a conservatorship, which to my knowledge basically means that they get granted all the rights to any future contracts and deals that Michael Oher could sign. At the time, he's 18 years old. This family's bringing him in. They're buying him clothes. They're feeding him. They told him, supposedly, allegedly, that this was the paperwork needed for them to fully adopt him and become his parents. He called on mom and dad because that's what they wanted him to call. And again, he grew up poor. He was homeless, had to walk to school, catch the bus. So having a family bring him in, he loved them. He trusted them. I'm 18 years old. I want to be a part of something. You guys are saying this is what's needed to get adopted. I'm going to just sign it. He probably didn't read it. He's not even thinking about all that. Later on, he finds out that he didn't sign adoption papers. He signed his conservatorship or whatever it's called. And now for this whole time, they've been legally allowed to make money off his name, image, and likeness. So now that's got me thinking, JB, and it has Michael Oher thinking, was the love ever real? Or did they see an investment opportunity from the get-go? They see this poor 6'5", 330-pound athletic black brother who ain't got a pot to piss in, let's be real, doesn't have a family. Let's bring him in, and basically invest in him. by buying them clothes, taking care of them, getting them food, etc. And on the back end, we gonna make money. Because what I'm seeing is that they're saying that the movie grossed over $330 million gross. And supposedly, not only did the parents make money, but they signed some type of paperwork that allowed their actual blood kids to receive $225,000 plus 2.5% of all future defined net proceeds. So it's like, we don't know what the net is, but the gross was $330 million. So you can assume what the net probably is. And they kids got 2.5%. So not only is the two parents making it, their kids is making money off of it. And the man's story that you use and the name that you use, Michael Oher, didn't see a dime. That's like that. No, that's the part where I'm like, yeah, Mike, I'm with you on that, brother. And and maybe you just maybe you just found out, or maybe like whatever the reason is, I do feel you. That's a lot. That's too much money.
The thing is, how do we know? There's always three sides to a story.
Yep.
How do we know that these parents took them in and let's say on their side they're defending the kid and saying, hey man, we knew you didn't have a pot to piss in. We were providing for you. We were helping you. You live scot-free with us in our $1 million mansion, and we took care of you. We're looking out for your future. He's now saying, no, you just basically took everything from me. You didn't set me up for retirement. You didn't set me up for this. You took $300 million on top of you owning Taco Bells and all this other shit. You basically robbing me blind. Is that what you really blindsided me? Is that what they're saying?
Look at Jimmy with the bars. That's what happened.
I don't know if you've seen this, but there's an interview out there that may give you some different context. Let's hear it live from our man Sean, who is the young kid in the movie.
Versus the adoption. I know you talked a little bit about Kevin. Like, what is your take on that's the main claim, right? And pretty recent, as February 2023 is when Michael says he realized the difference and what it meant. Like, what did you?
But wait, even before you answer that, if you're saying this is like there's been multiple lawsuits regarding this conservatorship,
not against the family specifically, but to the movie companies and all that kind of stuff. I believe this is not the first.
Got it. Okay.
Go around.
So he had issues, was suing other entities, then finds out that he wasn't technically adopted, but it's a conservatorship, and that's when he puts you guys in the crosshairs.
Again, I don't want to speak to things here. Well, I'm gonna preface in case someone says this freaking guy I'm not gonna listen to him anymore. I'm gonna preface by saying that I loved Mike at 16. I love Mike at now he's 16 and a half years old, 37. And I love him at 67. So there's not going to be any legal dossier or thing that happens that's going to maybe go like screw that guy. It's not the case. I'll be mad at him. But to your initial point, no. I mean, if he says he learned that in February, I find that hard to believe. I went back to my text today to look at. I was curious today randomly to go back to look at our family group texts and text to see what things had been said, and there was things back in 2020, 2021 that were like, if you guys give me this much, then I won't go public with things. And so I don't know that's true. I think everyone learned in the past year about the conservatorship stuff because of Britney Spears. So maybe that's the case. But it doesn't.
So when did?
So
he got some receipts. He's saying from a group text that
always three sides to the story. Here's the thing I'm always trying to play devil's advocate here.
Right.
On your side, right now, Big Smitty, you are a proponent of 17 and 18-year-olds not only signing big NIL deals, but demanding big NIL money. Are you not?
I'm on the side of these guys getting their money. Yes.
All right. Are you not? But what I specifically just stated, though, are you on the side of 17-year-olds, which you've been clear about? So have so many people. I say no. Why are we giving them the car keys to the car at 17? They don't even know how to change the oil. Everyone else, you, Matt, everybody's kind of on the same side as you're feeling. No,
because I say this: give them the car keys. We'll figure out how to change the oil later. But give me the car first.
Yeah, but too bad it'd be too late though because they've already killed everybody on the road. But having said that, what is the difference between Michael Oher at 18 letting this be signed? Is it not an NIL deal, basically, in essence?
Basically, it is. But the problem is he ain't signed. See, to me, it's almost more prevalent to my beliefs. He let somebody else sign for his NIL, trusted somebody else, and they making money off his name.
That's what these kids are doing right now.
What you mean? These kids got their parents signing shit.
What do you mean? There's all these kids doing conservative shit with their kids right now. So they put it up there. I'm gonna put it away in a safety in a college fund. I'm gonna put it in this. You see it all the time now.
It wouldn't be me, brother.
Kid at Penn State just did it. Like,
wouldn't be me, brother. I'm gonna be real with you. I love my parents.
So now we have no trust in our family, our own blood at all. Is what you're saying? Like,
I ain't say that. It's my money. Shit. It's gonna say Darnell Smith. I love you, mama, and love you, daddy. I'm probably break y'all off, but you think I'm about to put y'all name on there? You crazy?
All right, so let me ask you. So go back to like the Olsen twins, these young kids who started off as these actresses. And
they didn't have a choice. They're like 5. They started like 5 and 6.
That's what I'm saying, though. Macaulay Collins and those Culkin brothers.
That's different, though, JB. They were literal, like, they're their babies. Like, they don't have a choice. If I'm 18.
That's what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, though, it's still your parent. Your parent is putting this money aside, so-called putting it aside. Do they do it or not? I don't know. But, like, that's what these kids should be able to depend on, right? My mom's looking out for me. It's my mom. It's my dad. But we're in a dog eat dog world right now. These kids don't think that. These kids are like, fuck that. I want my money right now. I want my Hellcat. I want my Bentley. I'm 17. I want to drive in the parking lot at Alabama, and I want to drive 170 miles an hour down the strip. I'm just saying, we got a lot of issues right now, dog. There's no like hierarchy. There's no type of like structure, in my opinion. It's kind of just we threw shit at the wall. Let's see if it sticks there, and then let the kids go do what they got, whatever they want to do. Not only can they get their bag, they can also transfer and bitch and moan about not playing. They can bitch and moan about the bag not being big enough, and yet they still want it their way, their cake, and eat it too. Like, to me, there's got to be something. And then you want to bitch about the coaches taking new jobs. Like, wait up, dog. Which one is it? This guy's been coaching 40 years. He's put his kids through college. He's earned the right to coach and make a living. This kid's 17. We're putting him on the same pedestal as a 45-year-old coach. Like, we got a lot.
Because to me, and that's where me and you differ. Like, who defines who earned our opportunity to leave? Like, at the end of the day, if I'm 19 and I want to transfer because the situation makes sense.
You can't sit up here and tell me, Big Smitty, that a 17-year-old's earned the same rights that a 45, 50-year-old has earned in his career.
It's the rule. It's not about, like, this situation ain't even about earn. It's just I'm allowed to transfer. It has nothing to do with earn. I don't have to earn the right to transfer. I don't have to earn the right to get a bag.
I'm not saying that's. I'm not
saying whatever the case is. If Ole Miss want to give me $300,000 to sign, I earned it because of my potential and what they seen on the tape from high school. The work that I put in, I earned it. You're worth whatever the organization wants to pay you. I stand on that. We can't argue who's worth what. So you got to wait till you do something for 20 years before you earn it. I don't believe in that. Yeah, and every coach ain't old now, especially nowadays. So a lot of times coaches, they new coaches been coaching for 5-10 years, and they're moving up the chains and transferring, doing this and that. I know a lot of young coaches because they're guys I play with. So like if they transfer going to another school, they can do it because they're a coach, but a player can't do it, or they can get the back. Like I don't get that. Get your money. Now what needs to happen is there do need to be some type of better structure involved, and these kids need some sort of guidance, whether it's their parents, a mentor, financial advisors on campus. They do need some better advice and guidance to manage that money. I agree with that 100%. But I don't think them not getting the money is a solution. Like, no, I get these kids grew up, again, maybe I'm sensitive to it because I grew up poor. I grew up getting kicked out, evicted, living with my friend, all types of different shit. So me, I'm like, get your bag because I know what it looks like when you don't got money.
Here's the issue, though. You agree if a kid signs an NIL deal out of high school and he signs this big bag of money and he don't produce or he don't fail and they take the money away because that's what they're talking about doing, then you're okay with that too, right?
I think if that's the situation, I think it just depends on what you sign. Like as a kid, you got to understand, hey, if I'm getting this money up front, it's really not mine unless I do X, Y, Z. So you got to know that.
Okay, perfect. So here's my thing though. If Michael Oher signed a deal and he signed that contract and is 18 years old, why are we now feeling so sorry for the cat when we don't feel sorry for these NIL deals right now when these kids are signing them at 18? That's what I want to be clear with. Listen, can you be manipulated and screwed over? Hell yeah. I'm a victim. I've seen it happen my whole life. I know that side is real. I also know the side of, okay, it's been a long time. Like you said, 2009, you've made $40 million in the NFL. You've had times to get lawyered up. You've had time to have your teams research this up. You've already filed multiple lawsuits versus production company. I do know that for a fact. So there still has been nothing of it. And now the writer's strike, the guild, the SAG has come through, and now it's back because I know for a fact why it's back. So I'm just trying to say, I don't know if we can have it both ways, dog. We have to either say, it's a you problem, man up, or now I want to have buyer's remorse because that's what this is. This is buyer's remorse and not seller's remorse. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see the Michael Oher saga. Yeah. But
I'm going to be real quick. I don't feel sorry for the cat. Like you say, he made 40-something million as a player. And at the end of the day, listen, we all go through shit. We all get lied to, done wrong, stabbed in the back. Is it right? Hell no, it ain't, but it's life. So I ain't going to feel sorry for nobody. He don't feel sorry for me. Shit I done been through. So I'm not going to feel sorry for somebody who got 40 M's. Now, again, I don't know what his financial situation is now. I don't know if it's the strike. I don't know if it's a combination of both. But again, bro, ain't no way in hell you're going to tell me it took you damn near 15 years to find out that this is what you signed. And you got all this money. You've been suing the production company. Nobody, come on, bro. Like, there's no way. There's no way. There's something else going on that we don't know about.
He's got buyer's remorse. And are you're thinking he's got buyer's remorse and now he's seeing all these other cats make this money and especially the NIL era. And now everybody's trying to jump on this NIL deal. Because if there's I'm going to be honest. If anybody has an NIL deal gripe, it is my players on Last Chance U.
Oh, preach.
Is it not?
It is.
If anybody has an NIL gripe, it's my fucking kids on Last Chance U that has the biggest gripe of anybody.
Hell yeah.
So I want to break that down one day in one show. And I'm doing it on Last Chance True. You got to be a member on Patreon to get that fire. But I'm just saying, why don't Netflix kids that were to participate in all these shows have the biggest gripe on NIL bags? Because that's bullshit to me.